Hello everyone, welcome to my channel and let's start today with another chapter of history. Today we will start with chapter 2 of class 6 which is on the trail of the earliest people means शुरुआती लोगों की राह पर शुरुआती लोग mean the people of the past. So it starts with Tushar's train journey. Tushar was going from Delhi to Chennai for his cousin's wedding. They were traveling by train and he had managed to squeeze into the window seat, his nose glued to the glass pane. बिल्कुल उसकी नाक चिपक गई थी ग्लास पेन के साथ. कौन सी ग्लास पेन? जो ट्रेन की विंडो सीट की ग्लास पेन थी. As he watched trees and houses fly past, his uncle tapped his shoulder and said, "Do you know that trains were first used about 150 years ago and that people began using buses a few decades later?" Tushar then wondered, when people could not travel quickly from one place to another, so did they spend their entire lives wherever they were born? So, to find out the answer to his question, we will go through this chapter second of class 6 history. It starts with the earliest people. As the name of chapter suggests, on the trail of the earliest people. So the earliest people, why were they on the move? अब हमको जानना है कि जो पहले के लोग थे वो मूव क्यों करते थे एक जगह से दूसरी जगह एंड कैसे करते थे. So we know about the people who lived in subcontinent as early as 2 million years ago, and today we describe them as hunter-gatherers. The name comes from way in which they got their food because they gathered their own food, and we describe them as hunter-gatherers, as we have also seen in chapter 1 of unit 6 history. The name comes from way in which they got their food. Generally, what they did for their food. They hunted wild animals, caught fish and birds, gathered fruits, roots, nuts, seeds, leaves, stalks, and eggs. Immense variety of plants in a tropical land like ours meant that gathering plant produce was an extremely important means of obtaining food. None of these things was easy to do. There are several animals that run faster than us and many that are stronger. To hunt animals or catch fish and birds, people need to be alert, quick, and even have lots of presence of mind. To collect plant produce, you need to find out which plants or which parts of the plant are edible, which can be eaten, and which are poisonous. And also need to find out about the seasons when the fruits ripen. So, do you have these types of skills and knowledge? So, now let's find out reasons why hunter gatherers moved from place to place. There are at least 4 reasons why hunter gatherers moved from place to place. First, if they stayed at one place for a long time, they would have eaten up all the available plant and animal resources and they would have had to go elsewhere in search of food. अगर वो एक ही जगह पे रहते ज़्यादा समय के लिए तो जितना भी खाना वहाँ पे था प्लांट एंड एनिमल रिसोर्सेज अवेलेबल थे वो सब कुछ खा लेते और फिर उनको दूसरी जगह जाना पड़ता फूड सर्च के लिए. सेकंड, एनिमल्स मूव फ्रॉम वन प्लेस टू प्लेस. एनिमल्स एक जगह से दूसरी जगह पे जाते रहते हैं या तो अपना शिकार ढूंढने के लिए और जैसे कि एनिमल्स एंड डियर एंड वाइल्ड कैटल वो ग्रास और लीव्स की सर्च में भी एक जगह से दूसरी जगह जाते हैं. तो जो लोग एनिमल हंट करते हैं उनके एनिमल्स की मूवमेंट फॉलो करनी पड़ती है एंड दे मूव फ्रॉम प्लेस टू प्लेस इन सर्च ऑफ द एनिमल्स as they had to follow their movements. Third, plants and trees bear fruit in different seasons. तो हर प्लांट हर ट्री पे अलग अलग सीजन में फ्रूट आता है. तो पीपल मे हैव मूव फ्रॉम सीजन टू सीजन. अलग अलग सीजन में अलग अलग जगह पे मूवमेंट हुई होगी इन सर्च ऑफ डिफरेंट काइंड्स ऑफ प्लांट्स. एंड लास्ट बट नॉट द लीस्ट, फोर्थ, people, plants and animals need water to survive. पीपल, प्लांट एंड एनिमल सबको वाटर तो चाहिए सर्वाइव होने के लिए, और वाटर कहाँ मिलता था? लेक्स, स्ट्रीम्स एंड रिवर्स. कुछ रिवर्स एंड लेक्स पेरेनियल है. पेरेनियल मीन विद वाटर थ्रू आउट द ईयर, पूरा साल पानी रहता है. पर कुछ रिवर्स एंड लेक्स भी सीजनल होते हैं. तो people living on the banks would have to go in search of water during the dry season. So these are the 4 reasons why hunter-gatherers moved from place to place. But remember, they moved from place to place, but they traveled on their foot only. They traveled on foot. This is. So how do we get to know about these people? Archaeologists have found some of the things hunter-gatherers made and used. Who are archaeologists? Archaeologists are those persons who study about the history or the past. So archaeologists को कुछ ऐसी चीजें मिली जो hunter-gatherers ने बनाई हैं और यूज की हैं. And it is likely that उन लोगों ने स्टोन के टूल्स बनाए हैं एंड यूज किए हैं, वुड के, बोन के, बट जो स्टोन के टूल्स हैं वो सर्वाइव किए हैं बेस्ट. मीन्स mainly not we, archaeologists got to know about these people from the stone tools because they have survived best. So here we have the image of 5 types of stone tool. A. This is the earliest stone tool. A figure is the earliest stone tools. Then B. These are several thousand years later. After this, we came here. Then C. These were made later still. These are made even after this. And then this, D. These were made about 10,000 years ago. These. From A to we came to B. Then B to we came to C. And from C to D. And this E image, it is the image of the natural pebbles which were found. So some of these stone tools were used to cut meat and bone, some for scraping bark from trees, and some for scraping hides, or you can say animal skins, and some for chopping of fruits and roots. So different stone tools were used for all of these different purposes. Some may have been attached to handles of bone or wood to make spears and arrows for hunting, and others may be used to chop wood, which was used as firewood. Wood was also used to make huts and tools. Here we can see 2 images. This is the digging the ground to collect edible roots. This stone has been used for digging the ground for their food, which was edible roots. And in the second, we can see this stone has been used for stitching of clothes. And clothes were made of animal skin. See, stone has been used for stitching of the clothes, and clothes were made out of animal skin. Next, choosing a place to live in. How they chose place where to live. So here we have given a map with some important archaeological sites. You can even take a screenshot of this map for the reference purpose. All the places marked with red triangles are sites from which archaeologists have found evidence of hunter-gatherers. So, the places with red triangles are the places which archaeologists found. ऐसी places है red triangle वाली जहाँ पे archaeologists ने found out किया है कि वहाँ पे hunter-gatherers रहते थे. And these are 3 places which are Bhimbetka, Hunsgi, and Kurnool caves. You can see Bhimbetka, Hunsgi, and Kurnool caves are the three sites with red triangle. And hunter-gatherers lived in many more places, but some of these are only shown on the map. Many sites were located near sources of water, and many of these sites were located near sources of water such as rivers and lakes. Let us see. Let me zoom. Now you can see clearly Bhimbetka site, and here we can see Narmada River. Humski and Kurnool caves. Here we can see the Krishna River for both Hunsgi and Kurnool Way. So these sites are located near sources of water as clearly seen in the map. And these sites are also known as Paleolithic sites. See, Paleolithic sites. We will discuss about this later only in this chapter. So, let's move forward. As stone tools were important, people tried to find places where good quality stone was available. अब हमने देखा कि stone tools बहुत important थे different daily purposes के लिए, तो लोगों ने ऐसी जगह ढूंढनी शुरू कर दी जहाँ पे good quality का stone आसानी से मिल सके. एंड जिन प्लेसेस पे स्टोन आसानी से मिलता और लोग वहाँ पे टूल्स बनाते, ऐसी प्लेसेस का नाम हो गया फैक्ट्री साइट्स. एंड दीज प्लेसेस आर नोन एज फैक्ट्री साइट्स. पर हमको कैसे पता चला इन फैक्ट्रीज के बारे में? हमको ऐसे पता चला कि हमको स्टोन के ब्लॉक्स मिले वहाँ पे, टूल्स जो बने थे और उसके डिस्कार्डेड प्रोडक्ट्स थे वहाँ पे जो बिल्कुल परफेक्ट नहीं थे, वेस्ट था वहाँ पे. सो वेस्ट फाउंड बिहाइंड दियर एट दिस साइट्स. तो हमको वहाँ से पता चला कि यहाँ पर फैक्ट्री साइट्स थी किसी टाइम में. एंड कभी कभी क्या होता था, लोग वहीं पे रहते थे ज़्यादा समय के लिए एंड स्टोन टूल्स बनाते थे. सो पीपल लिव्ड हियर फॉर लॉन्गर स्पेल्स ऑफ टाइम एंड ऑल्सो गुड क्वालिटी स्टोन वॉज फाउंड एंड टूल्स वर मेड. जहाँ पे लोग बहुत समय के लिए रहते थे, स्टोन अच्छी क्वालिटी का मिलता था और स्टोन टूल्स भी उसी साइट पे बनते थे. उस साइट को बोलेंगे हैबिटेशन कम फैक्ट्री साइट. एंड जहाँ पे सिर्फ गुड क्वालिटी स्टोन अवेलेबल था एंड टूल्स ही बनते थे बट लोग ज़्यादा टाइम के लिए नहीं रहते थे, दैट साइट इज नोन एज ओनली फैक्ट्री साइट्स. So there were two factory sites and habitation cum factory sites. Now we have seen Bhimbedka and it is in present day Madhya Pradesh. Some sites such as we have discussed right now, habitation sites, are places where people lived. These include caves and rock shelters. These is the image of that rock and cave shelters. You can see in the image, I shall write it. Now you can see the clear image of the Bhimbedka habitation site. And people why chose these types of cave? Because they provided shelter from rain, heat and wind. Natural caves and rock shelters are found in Vindhyas and Deccan Plateau. In the last chapter we have seen the Vindhyas, and in that region this is Bhimbedka. And these rock shelters are close to the Narmada Valley, seen in this map only. And you can see again Bhimbedka is near the Narmada River. And these are the Bhimbedka site. Now what is site? Sites are places where remains of things such as tools, pots, buildings, etc. were found, and these were made, used and left behind the people, as we have read. They may be found on surface of earth, buried under the earth, or sometimes even underwater. We will see in later chapters. Now, we have seen stone tools were made, but how? So making stone tools. Stone tools were probably made using two different techniques. First technique is stone on stone, and second technique is pressure flaking. So in stone on stone, pebble from which tool was to be made. Pebble was also known as the core, was held in one hand, and another stone which was used as a hammer was held in other hand. Means एक हाथ में pebble है और दूसरे हाथ में भी stone है. एक पेबल को कोर बोलेंगे और दूसरे को एज अ हैमर यूज करते थे. द सेकंड स्टोन was used to strike off flakes from the first till required shape was obtained, and we can see in this figure also. You can consider it pebble, it as a stone which is acting as a hammer. Sorry, this is a hammer and this is a pebble, because this stone is striking off the flakes from the first till the required shape is obtained. So this will be made in future as a stone tool. And second is pressure flaking. In pressure flaking, core was placed on a firm surface. Core was not in a hand, it was placed on a firm surface, and then hammer stone was used on a piece of bone or stone that was placed on the core to remove flakes that could be shaped into tool, means with pressure. And in stone on stone, two types of stones are used, one as a core and the other as a hammer. Now, finding out about fire. Now we will find out about fire. How we got to know that firewood was used by in ancient times. So now let's see. Find the Kurnool caves on map 2. We have already seen this Paleolithic site earlier, and I am going to yeah. Now check on the map. Kurnool caves or Kurnool site. It is a Paleolithic site. Let's read. Traces of ash have been found here. Traces of ash have been found in the Kurnool caves. And this suggests, अब इससे हमको क्या पता चलता है कि people were familiar with the use of fire. And fire could have been used for many things, such as source of light, to roast meat, and even could have been used to scare away animals. Now, a changing environment. Around 12,000 years ago, there were major changes in climate of the world with a shift to relatively warm conditions. In many areas, this led to the development of grasslands, and this in turn led to an increase in number of deer, antelope, goat, sheep, and cattle. Means these are all those animals that survived on grass. As grassland increased, so it led to an increase in number of these kind of animals who survived on grass. And those who hunted these animals earlier now followed them, learning about their food habits and their breeding seasons. It is likely that this helped people to start thinking about herding and rearing these animals themselves, because they got the knowledge of those animals, and fishing also became important. This was also a time when several grain bearing grasses, including wheat, barley, and rice, grew naturally in different parts of the subcontinent. As the climatic conditions changes, so many other conditions also changes with the time. Men, women, and children probably collected these grains as food and learned where they grew and when they ripened. This may have led them to think about growing plants on their own. Now, names and dates. Archaeologists have given lengthy names for the time that we are studying, and they call the earliest period the Paleolithic. As we have seen the three Paleolithic sites in the map, so it was the earliest period. It comes from two Greek words, paleo and lithos. Paleo means old and lithos means stone. So, name points to the importance of finds of stone tools. We have read about the stone tools, and paleo means old and lithos means stone. And Paleolithic period extends. Paleolithic period is the oldest period, as the name suggests, paleo. It extends from 2 million years ago to about 12,000 years ago. And this long stretch time, the Paleolithic time, is divided into lower, middle, and upper Paleolithic. And this long span of time covers 99% of human history. So 99% of human history is in the Paleolithic period, means old stone period, and it is divided into lower, middle and upper Paleolithic time. This the period when we find environmental changes beginning about 12,000 years ago till about 10,000 years ago. And it is called Mesolithic. Mesolithic means middle stone. So, environmental changes period is begin about 12,000 years ago till 10,000 years ago. And it is called Mesolithic, means middle stone. Meso means middle and lithos means stone. Stone tools found during this period are generally tiny and are called microliths. And microliths were probably stuck onto handles of bone or wood to make tools such as saws and sickles. And at the same time, older varieties of tools continue to be in use. We have seen earlier the different type of stones. Let me go to that image only and we will see the Mesolithic period stones again. Yes, here come the image. So 12,000 years ago to 10,000 years ago are these, and these are microliths. Mesolithic period stones, as these were made about 10,000 years ago and known as microliths because they are in micro as compared to A, B and C. You can see it clearly with I shall write it. Yes, now you can see it properly. Other are the A, B, C are of the Paleolithic time and D is from Mesolithic time. Now let's go further. Yes. Now the next stage from about 10,000 years ago is known as the Neolithic. Now what does Neolithic means? We use present day names of places where people lived in the past because we don't know what they call them, and it is Neolithic. In the next chapter only we will read about the Neolithic. Now, rock painting and what they tell us. Many of caves in which these early people lived have paintings on the walls. We have seen the cave, Bhimbedka cave, and as people live there, they have made paintings on the wall. And some of the best examples are from Madhya Pradesh and southern Uttar Pradesh. And in Madhya Pradesh, we have seen the Bhimbedka. These paintings show wild animals drawn with great accuracy and skill. Here we can even see a painting from a rock shelter. See it? Let me wide it. Yes. This is a painting from a rock shelter. We don't know the exact location, but it was a painting which was made by early people who have lived in the caves. And these were made on the walls of the caves. Now, who did what? We have seen that earliest people hunted, gathered plant produce, made stone walls, and even painted on cave walls. So, is there any way of finding out whether women hunted or men made stone tools? अब हमको क्या पता वुमेन ने काम किए हैं ये सब या मैन ने किए हैं या मैन एंड वुमेन दोनों ने किए हैं एट प्रेजेंट वी डू नॉट नो रियली हाउएवर देयर आर एटलीस्ट टू पॉसिबिलिटीज ये भी हो सकता है दोनों ने मिलके किए हो एंड ये भी हो सकता है सिर्फ वुमेन ने किया हो एंड मैन ने नहीं किया हो एंड इट इवन कि कुछ वुमेन ने किया हो एंड कुछ मैन ने किया एंड अगेन there could have been different practices in different parts of the subcontinent. Now, do you know ostriches were found in India during the Paleolithic period, means the old stone period. Large quantities of ostrich egg shells were found at Patne in Maharashtra, and designs were engraved on some pieces while beads were also made out of them. It was strange to know that ostriches were also found in India, but now they are just endangered, not even endangered. They are even not a single ostrich is found in India. Now, a closer look at Hunsgi. Hunsgi is also a Paleolithic site which we have seen. A number of early Paleolithic sites were found here. At some sites, a large number of tools used for all sorts of activities were found here, and these were probably habitation cum factory sites. We have read that habitation cum factory sites are only in the Paleolithic period. And in some of the other smaller sites, there is evidence to suggest that tools were made. Some of these sites were close to springs, and most tools which were made are made from limestone, which was locally available. Now, elsewhere. So this is a painting which is from a cave in France. This is a painting. See, this is a painting from a cave in France. And this site was discovered by four school children more than 100 years ago. Paintings like this were made between 20,000 and 10,000 years ago. And many of these were of animals such as wild horses, aurochs, bison, woolly rhinoceros, reindeer, and bear, painting in bright color. And just wonder how these colors were made. These colors were made from minerals like ochre or iron ore and charcoal. It is possible that these paintings were done on ceremonial occasion or perhaps were made for special rituals performed by hunters before they went in search of prey. If there are any other reasons which you can think of, you can tell me in the comment section. And here we complete our second chapter of History Units Class 6. I hope you like it. If you all like my video, then kindly subscribe to my channel Naveen Chahat Lifelines, and also like, comment and share. Thank you for watching.